Here's what I would do to solve the immigration problem in the United States. Some people don't think it's a problem. Some people just want people to come in for free and do their own thing. Obviously, that can't work just because of economy, right? Taxes are going to continue to go up because people are going to have to pay for people who are illegal. If we don't figure out some way of integrating into our system, things aren't going to go right. So what do? Do we deport everyone? Do we arrest everyone? How do we go about this? I say, if you're in today's what, end of June, all right, June 2025, if you're here illegally, you're in. But we're going to close the borders today. And when I say close the borders, I'm talking no one comes in. If you're coming here on a vacation, you have to be vetted by another American. You get stamped on your passport that says if you don't leave on your exit flight, you're going to jail. All right? Where we're going to make the most strict border policy. We're going to close the borders so strict, it's going to be insane. Everyone that is here, if you're illegal and you want to be here and you really want to be a citizen and you want to stay here and you want to work here, okay, well, we're going to spend the next year documenting every single person. You got to go down and you got to get in line. You got to take time off of work. You got to do what it takes to be able to get, but we're going to have tons of workers working on that. All these people who are out of jobs, we're going to give them jobs, all right? Hey, you need to work for the immigration offices for a year. We're going to give you, we're going to pay you for this. We're going to take the hit on that, but we're going to get all these people that are here. If they're a criminal, we're putting them in jail, obviously. But if you want to be a citizen, you're going to take the steps to do it, but we're going to expedite that process and we're going to, no questions asked. You're not going to have to jump through any hoops. We give you the citizenship. But that comes with a caveat. You got to come down and you got to show us who you are and you got to show us where you live. And maybe we put a freaking dog tag on you or we chip you. We let Elon Musk chip you so that we can find you at any time. If we put a court date on and you don't show up, the next time we do find you, we fingerprint every single person, right? If we find you, you are going to jail. We have super high penalties for not complying with what we're asking people to do. If you want to live here, you better prove it. Do the things that we're asking you to do. Now, the fact that we have all of these other things going on and work visas and stuff like that, I don't know how that whole process works. I'm sure that's its own thing, but I'm talking, let's just start afresh. Whoever's here, let's keep it the way it is. All right, you're here. But from today on, no one comes in. And then we start to figure out how we go about dealing with letting people in and letting people out and the way that we go about our culture, because what's happened now with immigration is different than it used to be. The reason why America became the greatest country in the world is because we got everyone's best from all over the world and everyone assimilated and we created this melting pot that allowed it to rise up. Well, that's not happening anymore. People aren't contributing to America anymore. And I'll give you examples. People come here and maybe they start working here. Maybe they get educated here. They can now, because we've allowed it and because there's so many people that don't speak the language or are in their own communities, that they don't have to integrate into society. They don't have to even learn the language. They don't have to pay taxes and build back into the system that's benefiting them. So it's a one-way street. America gives while the rest of the world gets. And so a lot of these people are actually taking their money and sending it to Mexico. They're sending it to China. A lot of people are coming in. They're super smart. And I heard this argument. We want the smartest people to come into our country. Yeah, I agree. I want smart people. If they're going to assimilate and make America better because they're going to use their smarts here. Well, that's not happening anymore. Well, what's happening? I'm super smart. I'm from China, which that's another thing. Like there's a lot of people who are coming from China and they're working for the government. They're literally sending information back to another government while they're making money here and sending money back home to their families. Because they were the smart one, they were the chosen one, and they don't really have a choice over there in China and other places. So they come here, take advantage of our system, send money back, send information back, and it doesn't benefit the United States. They go to their universities. They take spots from people that are living here and have worked here and are putting in and grinding for, and they're going to stay here. They come here, get educated, and either leave or take that information. They work for a company, take that, and they do and start something in another country. So it's not the same like it used to be, where people got here, they stayed here, or their money stayed here. They might even be living here, but their money doesn't necessarily translate into our economy. And with the illegal thing is, I could be a part of the community and be illegal, but all that money's under the table. All that money is not taxable. All that money is now, again, not being put back into the system like we would. And workers, employers, they want to take advantage of low cost labor, people that they can't really demand much because they're not here legally. And so they get away with it. And it's like, well, I can shave some stuff off of my own taxes as well. So that's a double whammy, right? This person's not paying taxes. This person's not paying taxes. So the whole system doesn't get to feed in. And what happens is then taxes will have to go up because those people are here using the services and using what we're doing, but they're not contributing. So we have to come up with some system. You're saying, well, you want taxes to go up? No, I want people to be contributing as a whole. If only certain people are contributing, it starts to become more and more skewed. So it's like, take for example, healthcare, okay? They have something, you cannot refuse someone in hospitals in America. We don't have universal healthcare here, but you can't refuse someone. If someone comes into the hospital, they have to treat you. So what happens with me? If I go into the hospital and I'm injured, they treat me. Well, I have a social security number, I have a home address, I have an ID, I have a driver's license, I'm in the system. They will find me and get that bill from me some way, shape, or form. They can garnish my wages at my job and things like that to get that. If I'm an illegal and I don't speak English and I give you a different name, or I do speak English and I give you a different name, I don't have any ID, I'm not a citizen, they still treat me, and as soon as I leave, how are they gonna find me? And they have to treat. People come in from other countries, they're pregnant, they're on vacation, they come here, they have a kid in here, they take advantage of the hospital system to have a kid, they stay in the hospital, they leave, they don't pay any medical bill because you can't find them, you can't get a hold of them, I don't speak the language. People now know that and they're taking advantage of the system. Now, that's not the huge thing. More of it is just, like I said, people coming here, working here, and then taking money and putting it away. But imagine the culture, right? Imagine the culture and the idea behind, hey, I can take advantage of America because they make it so. That's not good. That's not even good for the people that are living here. I think you talk to most people who understand the economy and understand business, they understand government, the way the relationships work. They're not a fan of illegal immigration. If they came here and they're from it, it's about assimilation. And that's any other country in the world. If you try to do these things in another country, you'd be put in jail. It would be so stupid. Now, that's why I say, hey, if you understand how great it is here in America, why aren't you trying to make it better? Why aren't you trying to fit into that system? Or else you're going to make it worse. And that's what I see the response, which is not good. This whole, people waiting outside of immigration offices and getting and taking people to jail that are on expired visas. That's not good either, right? Taking advantage of the power that you've been given is not a good solution. I say, hey, everyone's in, we're here, but let's change the culture around immigration because this country is losing. And if you live here and you're an illegal, you're going to lose in the long term. All the benefits that you're getting from this country right now are going to go away if we don't continue to keep the system where it is. You're screwing up your own backyard, and that's not good. We need to think about the long term. All we're thinking about is, these people have a hard life. They should be allowed to come here. Well, if they're not getting into the system, if we're not integrating them right away to the system, if we're letting them speak another language, we're not turning it into America. We're turning it into something else. And if that's the case, then why are you leaving where you're at? Why don't you just stay where you're at? Because we have so many of these benefits here. Well, the longer this stuff goes, those benefits are going to have to be taken away because we're not going to have any money to be able to pave the streets and to make things nice and to keep things safe. So it's going to turn into a worse place and you're not going to want to live here. Is that what people want? I don't think so. So we have to think about not just right now, but we have to think about the long term. And that's why I say, you know what? Let's bite the bullet. You got in, you're good. But we're now going to have the most strict policy. If you're on vacation, you have to be vetted. If you're here for work, you have to be vetted. You get a stamp on your passport and it's got a ticking time bomb on it. And if you don't get your ass out of this country by that time, you're going to jail. So people are on their shit, making sure that they follow all the rules. Right now, we're so lax about things that nobody cares. Now we've gone overboard with these ICE raids, and I don't think that's the answer. That's creating more division. No, let's bring people together. But if we don't address the cultural issue of what's going on with immigration in this country, how it's changed from a melting pot to a separatist, people can just do their own thing, and again, maybe sometimes not even contribute to the culture, contribute to their own city, so to their own area. What's the point of us doing this? What's the point of us having the smartest minds here if they're not going to contribute? Now, a lot of them do. I'm using these as examples so that you can see people don't even understand these things. When I talk about it, I get so frustrated because I'm like, you don't see what's happening? It's not like it was. It used to be people came here assimilated. They had to learn the language. That's every other country in the world. I don't get why we have such a hard time doing that, because we want to be kind. We want to be nice. Look where that's going to get us, right? It's not doing us any service. So you're in. If I was president, now I don't know how this would work on economy. I said, I understand the economy. I don't know shit, but I do know that the culture needs to change around immigration. So whether it's financially responsible for me to do that way, that's a little extreme example, but hey, I'm an extreme person. So that's what I would think about doing. I would try to find some way of making everyone happy. But then if you want to be here, you got to prove it. You got to jump through some of these hoops. You got to make sure that you're going to be doing your part. And we should be able to get in contact with you because, again, we want us to get better as a culture together. You got to speak the language. You got to do these things. And we're going to have people helping you do that. We have all the help we need. We have cell phones, we have technology, we have so much at our fingertips, but we're not doing that because we have some weird idea about racism and this and that. We need to put all that aside and understand you're living here too. Take care of your own house, your own backyard, instead of not paying attention to it and thinking that you're just going to be able to reap these benefits, because they're not going to stick around forever if we keep ignoring the logical understanding of what you do comes back around, right? You can't just keep repeating things and just taking. You can't just take and take and take and expect there to still be something there. At some point, they're going to run out. So it has to be a give and take. It has to be a balance in our world. So anyways, that's my thoughts on immigration. That's how we solve it. Until next time, I'll see you then.